How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you doing this morning, or I guess this evening for you?
Doing all right. It's really hot out here.
Yeah, yeah. Um, all right, we'll more or less get into it. I'll give myself a bit of an introduction first, since a lot of new faces at this different time compared to the last one we had, um, and also a little bit of an intro, I guess, of what Fireball is for those that didn't hear last time. But first of all, welcome everyone to the Campfire Community Call. I'm Classic J, one of the guys on the Fireball team. Looks like Dudendi's in the audience as well. He's one of our developers, and then Yannick is taking the lead on all the direction and business dev stuff and all the behind the scenes things. I've sort of, me personally, been in on-chain gaming for 4 or 5 years now, starting back in 2020, 2021 with Dark Forest, and then joining Yannick Dudendi and a few others as a part of the Auden guild, and competing in really just a bunch of on-chain games since then, and dare I say, winning a substantial number of them, which has been a lot of fun. Which has ultimately led us to where we are with Fireball now. We were previously making a whole bunch of in-game tools for ourselves and the guild, but for this time we've sort of thought to see whether we can make it into a proper product, something with a nice UI, instead of a lot of the terminal stuff we were doing before. Make it usable, get some actual feedback from a wider variety of people, and also, we think it can help enhance some of the games that we play. I'd love an introduction for yourself, though, please, Gambit.
Sure, but it's not that fancy for me, man. I haven't won any tournaments for sure. Myself, I've been in Web3 for 5 to 6 years, I think now.
Mhm.
Uh, I've been gaming ever since I know myself, basically.
Yep, I
Not
agree.
pro, but more so occasionally. I do trade a lot. I trade Forex. Uh,
Mhm.
I trade crypto. I trade NFT, everything you can think of. I mean, that's about it.
Nice. And so, what brought you to Gigaverse?
I actually minted to like have back in how long has it been
I think it was the
since
start
that
of
mint?
2024. I think it was January or something.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I minted that. I minted about like two or three.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard about for Gigaverse from Dit. I
Yeah,
was just hyped now. I just spent all basically.
yeah,
It's my biggest NFT holding as of now, and it probably will be for a long time.
yeah. Same. Awesome. All right. We'll get into some questions then. My burning question for you is, your username in the Gigaverse Discord is Missionary of Gigas, and I was not a believer. I did recently pick one up. I found one for basically the floor price of all the other ones, so I was like, okay, for that
Hell
price, I
yeah.
can I can justify it. What do you think might be coming for
I
them?
mean, finally, you're among us.
Yeah. Do you think
Uh,
is it mostly just a meme, or is it, are you envisioning some extra ultimate sort of power compared to some of the other factions?
okay, it's like I would say 50-50. I'm 50% memeing, but I do think that Gigus will have some sort of utility, which is confirmed, I believe,
Hmm.
from Det or Harambe. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, right? You just look at the supply difference between the other faction.
Yeah,
I think it's the 1/4 of the supply, right? Versus the other factions.
approximately. I can't remember the exact numbers.
I mean, I don't think they just made it up, right? I don't think they ran out of supply and just make Gigus more rare, I guess. Which you can use in game, by the way. The only way you can be exposed to Gigus is that you buy the ROMs, which is different from the other factions.
Hmm. That's true.
I mean, that's one thing. It's even more rare than Void Tier if you look at it. It's twice as rare, I believe,
Hmm.
or something like. So rarity is definitely. I believe that every single item that is in the game is there for a reason, as well as Giga's faction.
Makes sense. I definitely, yeah. I'm excited to see what they do come up with it because of it,
And
it's
Gigus
been
is the owner
6
of the
months now.
dungeon.
Yeah, I'm just
Gigus
wondering
is the
how they're
owner.
going to be able to balance something like this.
We're with him. We're good.
Scott goes begging to know what XP does. You'll have to wait closer to the end, buddy. All right,
Oh
thanks
yeah,
for
I was gonna ask that as well.
yeah. Cool. Obviously, it is all very speculative at the moment. What the hell Gigas is going to be? Um, yeah, definitely good points
It's
on I
also
guess the
fun.
supply.
It's also fun.
Yeah, cool. If you're not willing to share any more of your thesis, I'm sure you're holding some stuff back from us so you can get some more at cheap prices. Um, then I'd love to know, how you're finding Fireball currently. Have you checked out the new update that dropped a couple of hours ago?
I did read the patch notes, but I haven't tried the new point yet,
Mhm.
which I will. It should improve the performance of Underhold by a lot, I believe. I
If
don't know about like potions in general, right? I don't feel like it's worth it. What do you think about that?
it depends really. In D5000, I guess it depends really because the rings are fairly low value at the moment. Depending on what
Yeah.
your normal clear rate is, with like I've seen some people running just a mid armor potion, and sometimes
Mm.
it doesn't even get used. And so, if that can boost your win rate by 5 or 10%, and you're only using them half the time or something, then it's a fairly decent way to provide some more consistency. For Underhaul, the dungeon's just so brutal, that you basically,
Oof,
if
it
you want
is,
to
it is.
complete it, then you essentially have to run potions. And that's kind of reflected in how many gold rings there are. There's just very, very few gold rings. I think Taco Launcher's site has you can see who holds the most.
Yeah.
And there's only like 150 or 200 of them last time I checked.
It's gonna be really funny if that for weekly subs.
Oh my, yeah, if gold rings come for weekly stubs, might be outrage.
It's gonna be the same price, like Relic Gear or something like that. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing how the weak or vulnerable potions go when you do get a chance to try them out.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. But like after that as well, I think Fireball is great. I use incredible, dude. I love it. I log into the website. I'm like really excited every day to log into the website just for UI. It feels so clean, man. I don't know how you guys pull that off. Honestly, it's work.
Everyone here is just
In
a
general as
bigger
well,
chat.
I think it performs better than the other bots out there.
Hmm.
So like literally no reason to choose others over this one.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it? Were you expecting this kind of turnout when you guys begin this? Because it's insane. Everyone in Gigaverse is basically using Fireball right now, or
Yeah.
know about Fireball at least.
Honestly, I don't think we were expecting the proliferation to be quite this quick.
Yeah.
You can log into the site and see. Yesterday, before I went to bed, there was like 870 daily users or something, which is kind of nuts
That's
considering
insane.
we're also like granting people access individually and at the moment, it's more or less one player per one account per person. So, I mean, we're kind of not overwhelmed per se, but just surprised, impressed, proud of what's come about. It's interesting, yeah. Going from all our previous Auden scripts where, we had sort of somewhere between 20 and 30 people in the guild using things,
Yeah.
and now, yeah, nearly 1,000 is just a little bit mind-boggling, to be honest.
And when's the ICO though?
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't checked out the Pumped Up Fund price, but Apparently, that's what what people are doing now, eh? ICOs again.
I know for sure that me and Scott are ready. Just let us know. We're gonna invest.
They're running what, sorry?
I'm saying me and Scott are ready.
Oh
We're gonna
yeah,
invest.
the checkbooks are out, eh? The Aave
Yeah,
flash loans are ready to go. um, yeah, if you've got some questions for me, then you're welcome to ask.
yeah, that was the question, honestly. When are you guys raising? What is next for Fireball?
What
Let
is
me
next
ask
for
that.
Fireball? We're looking
Yes.
at pushing hard for the public release. So sometime over the next sort of couple weeks is loosely when we're internally planning to have that done, which will, then you can invite all your friends and they won't have to go through this process of getting approved and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
It'll also be the end of this epoch of leaderboard XP. So we will be
That's a huge alpha right there.
exchanging that for something else for everybody, and that should keep us going for a little while. And then we'll have we'll start everything from fresh. So everyone who comes in, once there's open access, will start on the same playing board, and then you can all start earning XP for the next epoch.
Okay.
A little bit of alpha. I won't spill all the tea, but maybe that explains a little bit to you.
Are you planning to go over to some other games as well, or will it be just Gigaverse?
It's on the cards. At the moment, we're still looking to, I guess, solidify all the features for Gigaverse first, and not really.
Yeah.
We don't want to spread ourselves too thin and degrade the performance of different things, So we're wary of, going too wide too fast, and so focusing on Gigaverse now, making sure that's really good, and then we've got something that we potentially can point to for other games that might be interested, will be something really solid for us before we do, or if we do decide to expand.
Yeah.
Any other questions from yourself?
Let me think. Scott is asking how will multi-accounting work when you go public.
I do have this little chat side open, by the way, people, so if you want to put questions in there, I'll get to them eventually. For multi-accounting, at the moment, it'll be just you have to log in separately with each account. As far as I'm aware, maybe Dudendi, if you want to come up and speak on that, up to you. Invite him and see if he's here. Maybe not. Yeah, so some of you might have seen that there was this delegation stuff, and so we did originally start with the features for it, but obviously if the servers can only handle so much at the moment, all this sort of stuff, so limiting it to one account per person was necessary, but we've sort of expanded enough now to be able to support more accounts that people want. Delegations will eventually theoretically roll it into one account that manages it all, but those features might not be ready once we do properly go open.
Okay, I do have another question.
Mm-hmm.
How was the reaction from your team? Or who you spoke to when you guys first pitched Fireball to them?
They've been fairly supportive of things. They've been fairly supportive of all the builders in the ecosystem. I probably can't say, I guess, too much, but they were aware of Fireball from a while ago.
There as well.
There's no, they haven't given us any money or anything like that. We're doing this all ourselves, so we are currently at arm's length from the Gigaverse team. They're obviously someone that we've talked to before.
Yeah.
So a bit of a political response, I'm sorry, but unfortunately that's how it has to be.
I feel it.
Yeah.
It was a tough question, I guess.
I saw Betaplux has asked about when it will turn paid. As we've sort of said a little bit that'll be more or less when it goes public. The pricing is still something that we're working out, but if you've seen some of the other tools that are out there, it should be fairly in line with what they're charging. But we're not planning to do an NFT or anything, so you won't need to buy a small thing to get into it. It'll just be something more like API credits or I'm just going to speak to some of these other questions in the chat if you want. If you have any other questions, feel free to bring them up in the middle, Gambit.
Yes, sir.
Or if you'd like me to expand on anything, feel free to ask. Scott's asked if it will be a requirement to be juiced to use Fireball. It won't be, no, but again, it means you can take use of some more of the features, right? You can do the 3 times runs with better potion efficiency, basically the same as Gigaverse. So I would expect anybody who's seriously playing Gigaverse will still want to be juiced. There's no reason not to be. There's still a bunch of super valuable value adds that come with juice.
It's more important than the ROMs, if anything.
Definitely. I mean, the price of energy from the juice is much, much cheaper than getting energy from ROMs.
Yeah, and 4x for stops, insane.
Yeah. And you can sprint in game. That's like the biggest value add, I think. So I can sprint faster to get to the workbench to repair my gear and change out gear.
Do you remember on the first of the game, like movement speed was so slow and you had to go through that whole corridor every time you basically die in the dungeon?
Yep.
Oh my god.
Sprinting was a massive value add. Autobot asked, do we have experience for building other tools like this for any other game? I did sort of address that a little bit at the start. So we built a lot of internal tools for a bunch of games in the past, some automation for Dark Forest back in the day. Similarly, some terminal interfaces and automation for a game called Mithrium. Some tools for things in the Realms ecosystem. There's probably a good 6 or 7 games that we had built tools for, if not a few more. There was also Evergotchi prior to me joining back in 2020-ish or something. Originally that was what Fireball was. It was an Evergotchi interface for doing all that stuff, and now it's been repurposed. Risen like a phoenix from the ashes, dare I say. Someone else has asked, will the paid feature have pricing tiers for basic, pro, and experimental models too? Something we're still looking into, and how features will be set apart or open to everyone. But all the core features will obviously be available to everyone, but there might be some specific quality of life features that might make it a better value add for a higher tier, but not something we've committed to yet. Abstract XP Fireball. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Does anybody have any good connections on the Abstract team? Is Fireball open to getting acquired, or do we want to stay founder-led? Preferably founder-led. It gives more flexibility, I think, and we can do what we want. We've had experience over the past few years that we are fairly happy to build upon. Obviously, there's a bunch of people we'd love getting advice from. That would be great to have as advisors or something. But at the moment, getting acquired is not something that's necessarily on the cards or what we're working towards or thinking about. Whew.
What do you think about AI in Web3 in general, now that you're working on it yourself as well?
Mm-hmm. I think it's inevitable, honestly. It is the blockchain stuff with all the data being readily available to anyone and readable and automatable. I think there's just going to be so many agents and AI integrations and just a ridiculous amount of stuff that AI is either going to take over or is going to be involved in or you will be the one running agents on whatever service. And it's such a big buzzword, obviously, at the moment that everyone gets excited about it. And as AI gets more usable for the normal person, as the prompt engineering gets easier to do and people learn more about the prompt injections and how to set up your agents to do the things you actually want it to do, and with all the frameworks out there, as they get easier to use for the layman, it's just going to be more and more prolific.
Yeah, I still think AI is the main thing for this run. I mean, we did have a small run prior to this all-time highs, but I think now we're gonna see the AI run, and it's gonna take a long time.
Kellogg's Wolf5 will be specific for Gigaverse other games as well later on. I spoke to that a little bit earlier on. We're not looking at other games at the moment, or at least not very deeply, focusing on Gigaverse at the moment. But we'll see where this goes. Really, will there be airdrops coming? No comment. Are you prepared technologically, infrastructure, how massive this can get once Gigaverse goes full MMO? The infrastructure's there. We've sort of built things out so that it can scale with the database and the way that all the jobs are handled. For those who've been here for a little while, when we had like 10 people doing runs at a time, and now we've got, I think I saw 60 or 70 people doing runs at reset, and it's more or less handling it pretty well. We've got the infrastructure in place. Dude, Andy and the other devs have done a great job on making sure things are going to be reliable and scalable. What other games do I enjoy myself? I think there's a lot of games that I've played in the past that I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, Dark Forest was always one that I loved and put countless hours into back in the day. Just doesn't quite have the same following it used to. That was, my real Web3 love back in the day for gaming. Do you have any particular games that you like as well, Gambit?
Web3 or outside Web3?
Either.
See on Web3, none.
Mm.
And on Web2 a lot, honestly. I'm a big fan of Souls-likes.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. Big fan of those.
Mm-hmm.
I competed back in the days in CSGO. We actually had a small team.
Oh, nice.
So that one, definitely. I fumbled a great wealth in that one as well.
Yeah, I
Sold
know.
all my cases. It's insane, man.
Best NFT performer
Like, I
for
would have
Cycle, right?
retired from CSGO. Sounds so funny when you say it like that.
Yeah. Time to get back into it then, eh?
Why not? Why not?
I never really got into CSGO.
What do you think about Web3 gaming nowadays in general? Like, what do you think we need?
That's a great question, honestly. I don't know. I think there just needs to be a super wide range of experiments, really, and just see what sticks. Like, I think it's interesting what OCH is doing with the idle staking stuff. I personally never got into OCH yet. I've been much too focused on Gigaverse, but yeah, I think it's interesting what they're doing. I think it's interesting a lot of the MMO stuff that is happening in the Realms ecosystem. I enjoyed playing Loot Survivor, that was fun. And they've got some interesting DeFi stuff that they were building out as well, with the way that items get released to the public.
Yeah.
Just experimentation, right? There's a lot of stuff that we've seen doesn't work. Releasing gaming tokens without any sort of utility and shit. I don't know if continual airdrops to leaderboards and huge multi-account things is necessarily the way to go. More experimentation, which unfortunately means that basically a bunch of games are going to have to fail really hard for us to eventually reach the one that's amazing.
I'll actually ask a great question. What do you and Classic think of that saying our token will not be a gaming one?
I haven't seen that yet, if that was recent, but I guess, Scott goes and talking about Gigaverse becoming a layer 1, so maybe, he's just brainwashed into being like...
I think the thing is, gaming tokens don't work anyways. Like, we have seen this many times. It's not like even an experimentation at this, just failing knowingly, right?
Yeah.
And also, if you think about the amount of money that all these gaming projects have raised and then failed, VCs lost a lot of money, like a lot.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like you could see that they are reluctant to invest in games from now on, right? Because they lost basically every one of the gaming projects that they've invested in. And it's the same for CT as well. That's why we're seeing all those bearish posts about gaming or gaming is done.
Yeah.
Because you see these tokens, I mean, 100 million market cap and speed runs to zero sustainability.
Yeah.
That's why I think you gotta gaming up with something, some sort of infra or some sort of, which surprisingly Gigaverse has bought. So I do feel great about it, honestly. I think this is the experimentation that we need, maybe.
Yeah. I have had an idea in the back of my mind about gaming tokens for a while. I don't have the skill to build a game, so I could never implement this myself. But I've always wondered whether some ridiculously high inflationary token is the way to go for games. And then everybody knows that the token's going to zero, right? Basically, everyone knows that already.
Yeah.
So you're incentivized instead to like spend it and use it in the game as soon as you can to continually progress your character. And then also it means you can, the things at the start of the game are relatively cheap, whereas the things at the towards the end game become more expensive. So it sort of follows the way that the inflation of the token would work. And it also means that instead of games being like super brutal to newcomers, actually, if you start a couple months late, it's just a little bit cheaper for you to start catching up. And so you're kind of incentivized to buy some of those tokens off whatever the open market. But you're going to be getting in for theoretically a slightly lower price, but you'll still be behind whoever started first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is a little bit rambly, but I feel like there's something there with, instead of having like a supply lock, it's just infinitely inflating it like 100% per year or something. And you've got, people can plan around it. They can plan their builds. Maybe they want to wait a month for the next feature because things will quote unquote only inflate 10%. Or, yeah, I don't know.
We'll see, yeah, why not? I think we will have something similar, maybe, because I saying talking about some sort of risk to earn or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's similar to what you were saying, not exact, but one of the features.
Mm-hmm. All right, we've been in here for half an hour already. Time flies very quick when you're having fun. Did you have any final questions or remarks, Gambit?
No, I'm good from my side.
Cool. I think
You?
No. Thank you for sharing your ideas about Gigas. A little bit of the alpha on the supply, limitations and what that could mean. Yeah, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Taking the time to speak with me and have a yarn with the audience. Scott goes asking for XP alpha. I'll reiterate. You got farmed, Scott. Just kidding. The epoch for XP will be ending when we go public to the public release, which will set everyone's XP to 0 so that everyone can sign up and start from scratch. And then your XP will be exchanged for some stuff. And then you'll be able to keep playing once the public release comes. Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks everyone for being here. Cheers. Adios, amigos.
See you, man. Have a good one.